Well, thank you for joining the conversation. Thank you for staying here with us for the news review. We're bringing you that shortly with Maxwell Lukutor. But right before we get there, let me let you know, of course, that this segment is always brought to you courtesy of Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Now, they're offering free prostate screening, free female fertility screening. Here is where you can locate them across the length and breadth of the country. Here in Accra, at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, there's Kumasi Chronomwabwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's also Takrade and Naji State. There's Tema Community 22. There's Techiman Hanswa and Nesiama and Zima. If you'd like to call them, these are the numbers you can reach them on: 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. And that's how we kickstart the news review. We are joined by Maxwell Lukutor, and he is NDC's parliamentary candidate for South Tong. He joins the conversation this morning. It's a lean bit. We have the Daily Graphic newspaper, the Daily Guide. Then we also have the Business Finder and the Daily Statesman. We'll be taking a look at all of these newspapers to find out what they have to share with us this morning. But let me say a very good morning to Maxwell. Hello, Max.
Good morning, Ben. How are you?
I am well. There's a semblance of wellness on all fronts. So I posted this morning when I kick-started the show that Mantaya, but we soldier on. Mantaya in different ways, physically, financially, and all of that. But we're making waves and we're doing what we can. I don't know about you.
Man, really tired. For a long time now, I've been searching my pocket, wondering whether I've lost a substantial amount of my money. But anytime I put my hands in my pocket, I don't find any. And I'm wondering why the situation is as it is. There are several things that man has to do, but you just don't have the wherewithal to do whatever you have to do. I am surprised you are also facing the same situation.
Hey, you are surprised. I should be surprised, yes, because you, the politicians, are the ones who seem to, control the cockpit here in the country. So for me, it's no surprise. I don't even get why you say you're surprised, because look, media people in Ghana, I wouldn't say I am the worst off, but generally, when you look at the media landscape, you know what it is, right? So for most, maybe 90+%, especially technical people, for those who come on air, it is much better. But for technical people, people manning the cameras, people directing, people producing a lot of the time and all of that, it's a pittance in many different places. And you look at the media entities across the country, you would see that if you look at the numbers when it comes to radio, those who have frequencies, those who are actually using the frequencies, then you look at TV and the rest. I have been around a bit, and I'm telling you that in most of these places, it's a sad situation. It's a sad situation.
Yeah, of course, maybe the generality of us look at the glitz and glamour and we think that all is well with you. Anytime you appear very neat coats and your appearances show to us that all is well, until you tell us what you do. But even those of us who you believe should be well with us, the economic situations are so harsh that you wouldn't be able to run around like you used to be. Things are really, really tough. You speak to people, and for some of us who are the arrowheads of the communities, people come to us every morning, every day, with one situation or the other. And you realize that the reality of situation of Ghanaians is that things are really, really bad. And so your mantra, man tired, should be what we should adopt going forward. Really, we are tired, and things are not so good at all. Those you also believe you have, you speak to them, and they are complaining. A lot of people owe you as a businessman, and they cannot pay, and there's nothing you can practically do about it. And so you can just stay on and watch. It's a terrible situation. And in all this, you see people flashing money like nobody's business. Government functionaries running a go with all the VAs in their lineup. Parliamentarians of the majority want to go to parliament because all of them are following presidential candidates running across to the country, very poor, and they won't do their responsibility as majority members. And they'll go back blaming minority people for not appearing in parliament, and that they are thwarting government business. Which government business? It's surprising that people do the things they are not supposed to do, and they go back and blame others for the woes of the country. It's also unfortunate, my brother.
Well, that situation, a really tricky one, but we keep praying for better days in Ghana. I mean, it's not to say that everything is an absolute mess, but we are in a very sticky situation, and as a people, we must, together with our government, find a way out of it. It's just that sometimes when you make mention of certain things and you are not hearkened to, as the old language will put it, you're not paid attention to, you're not listened to, then it creates a lot of problems. But we pray for the best for Mother Ghana. Let's quickly get into the papers. Before we do, though, Maxwell, maybe I would be unfair to you if I don't make mention of this. So, in terms of your constituency, where you are hoping to become member of parliament, what's happening? What's the latest there?
The latest is that...
Very quickly on that, very briefly.
Yeah, I'm going around the constituency saying thank you to my delegate who voted for me to become the parliamentary candidate. And I hope to end that by tomorrow. And so it's about going back to the people, say thank you for the good job you have done. Thank you for saving the face of Southtown. Thank you for having the hope and trust in me to lead you in the 2024 elections. Mahama says thank you, and that we have to put our feet on the ground and make sure that we wrestle power from this confused government. This government doesn't know where they are leading us to, and all its mantra, breaking the eight, breaking the eight. I don't know what they really want to break the eight for. And so we are sensitizing people. We are telling them that all is not well. They feel it, and you go, the expression in their faces shows it all, that all is not well. You there in Accra, who we hope that will be better, you are complaining. And so what about the people in the villages, the people in Southtown, the people in Tefle, the people in Kutama, the people in Dodekoba, the people in Habwi, the people in every corner of the constituency? All is not well. Yesterday I was with them, and it is just not good. The situation is so bad.
I see. Well, that is why you are there, and hopefully when you get the nod, or if you get the nod to represent your people, looking at the constituency you are in, it is almost a case of, I mean, if an NPP member wins the primary in, let's say, Bantama, it is almost a foregone conclusion that that person will become member of parliament. But we may get to the point, and hopefully we should, where that is not the case. And then, hopefully, when or if you get the nod, you'll do much better for the people you're supposed to represent. But let's get into the Daily Graphic newspaper this morning. Standard Chartered affirms commitment to Ghana. Insurance fair at Accra Mall today. Then births and deaths database. 24 million records not digitized. Acting Registrar says so. Supreme Court dismisses injunction against anti-LGBTQI plus bill. And self-testing for HIV begins nationwide. On the international front, Putin will not attend summit in South Africa. And that, of course, was on the back of talk about his getting arrested if he were to go to South Africa. The South African president had pushed against that, but there were groups that had even taken the matter as far as the court system, saying, look, if Putin comes here, by virtue of your engagement with the ICJ, the International Criminal System, I should say, you would have to arrest him. And that became a thorny issue. It wouldn't be the first time the South Africans have refused to do that. There's also fintechs are complementary, not competitive. Nana Dwemo Bene says so. Let's get into some of those stories. So, starting with this one. The Births and Deaths Registry has digitized about 6 million out of the over 30 million records in a major effort to modernize its accessibility, or operations for better documentation and easy accessibility. At an inception workshop to commence a training series on document fraud, the acting registrar of births and deaths, Henrietta Lamte, stated that her outfit needed the infrastructural, funding systems, working equipment, and capacity building support to complete the entire process. She said the registry was on a transformational agenda and therefore needed to digitize all services and clear all backlogs with regard to manual records. She said, we hold over 30 million manual records dating back to 1912 and some from 1990, in fact, some from 1898. I'll go over that, Maxwell. We hold over 30 million manual records dating back to 1912 and some from 1898 on births and deaths registration. We've been able to digitize 6 million. That's what she says. We still seek full support to complete the whole task, Ms. Lanty stated, and called for support from the government, foreign partners, and stakeholders. That, she indicated, would make the registry to successfully achieve its mandate and be competitive globally. But look at that. 1898, and we still have manual records. Some of them, I don't know what you make of this situation, but over to you. In this country, some things just boggle. How is it even possible? It's even a miracle that we still have those documents there intact.
Yeah, it's amazing we still have some of those documents dating back as 18 something in our records. And I wouldn't be too sure particularly what information they have about the individual. But whatever it is, I think that at Sevilla, and somebody who knows about the needs for digital records and the benefit it brings thereof, I think that we may have to do our best to digitize. But the most important things will be the inputs, the equipments, and the human resource that we will need to be able to do this thing. And once they have been able to digitize our 6 million of SAT, I am sure that going forward they should be able to complete in record time. I don't know what will hold them back not to be able to do as much as they wish to do, and now that they are calling partners to come to their aid. I don't know whether they need to get more equipment and machinery to be able to do that. But apart from that, once they have started, I'm sure that we should take our time to do. And hope that they do from now going backwards so that they don't go start from 1849 or whatever and come forward. They should rather start from now and try to digitize those new ones that will be in need. It will help us that anytime you just enter something on the click of the button, you'll be able to retrieve all the necessary information you have about an individual. Once those things are done, I'm sure it will even help the police CID department to be able to have information about every individual so that if there's a need for people to be traced, they can easily do that so that you are able to trace people based on the wrongs and the rights they may be doing. And so it will be a very helpful one if we're able to put these things together. So we hope and pray that we'll be able to do this. But our over-reliance on international donors every time to come to our aid is my issue. Shouldn't we do things ourselves for once? Should we always seek need from outside to be able to do this thing? And when we do this, I think that we expose ourselves to international community because once they are donating, they may
But we are a part of the international community.
Yes, we are part of the international community, but it should not be every data of us that we have to be giving to everybody or letting them have access. There are very key things about that. You realize that these days, our privacy is always hijacked. You are there, somebody sends you a message, you don't even know who he is, you don't know where he got your information from. And information sharing and keeping is very key to us as a people. We always have our metadata. It should be kept sacrosanct. There is a commission that is responsible for that. But every now and then you hear people doing things their own way. And it's unfortunate for some of us. We should have some level of secrecy about records of individuals.
All right. Let's get to page 13 of the paper. We'll do two stories there, then go to pages 17 and 18. Self-testing for HIV begins nationwide, and 46 people in the country are infected with HIV each day, the Ghana AIDS Commission has revealed. It said although the number was a reduction of the 62 new infections recorded daily 5 years ago and 52 new infections recorded daily 3 years ago, the pace of the decline was very slow. Quoting, he says, our target is to have 17% reduction in new infections every year, but we were only able to achieve 10% between 2021 and 2022, and so that means we have more than 7% as a gap. We really have to address the gap. That's the Director General of the GAC, Dr. Treme Echiahene, explained. Now, the HIVST, that is the HIV self-testing, allows laypersons, that is non-medical workers, to test themselves for HIV in the comfort of their confidential spaces without the presence and direct supervision of any health worker. The testing delivers results within 10 minutes, and the test is done either using their blood sample or saliva, better known medically as oral mucosal transudate. And that is the latest development as far as HIV and dealing with it is concerned. We are not meeting our targets in terms of the goals of reduction, but this is a new development in terms of self-testing for HIV. Let me just add this other story. Also on page 13 of the Daily Graphic, the Supreme Court has thrown out an application which sought to stop the Speaker of Parliament from allowing the House to proceed to debate an anti-LGBTQI plus bill until the determination of a suit challenging its constitutionality. In a unanimous decision yesterday, a 9-member panel of the Apex Court, presided over by the Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Tokonu, held that the applicant could not make a case to convince the court to grant the interlocutory injunction. Delivering the decision of the court, the Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Tokonu, said the issues raised in the injunction application were the same issues that would be determined by the court in the substantive case. And so, in summary, the Supreme Court has dismissed that injunction against the anti-LGBTQI plus bill. Quick thoughts on this before we wrap with the Daily Graphic on pages 17 and 18.
Yeah, so about the injunction on Parliament to continue debating the bill, many people have spoken about this earlier in the day, that it will not see the light of day since it is still in the formative stages, and that Parliament has every right to debate any bill and to work at it. It only becomes law when the President assents to it. So I don't know what really went into the head of Amanda of UCC to want to follow the path she did. But many people saw this coming, that it was not going to see the light of day. And the sincerity of the issue is that many Ghanaians, including even the judges who were sitting on the case, maybe may have a prejudiced mind over this LGBTI plus bill. And so I really don't see how she was going to make it. So once she has a substantive case, I'm sure that...
Wait. Are you suggesting the courts are biased when you say the judges may have some prejudices?
No.
What are you suggesting?
No.
So clarify.
Yeah, because not at all. I am not saying they are biased towards ruling against anybody who brings a bill. But of course, I stated the ground that this is still at the consultation stage, and that if you look at even Parliament, all parliamentarians present agree that they are in tune and in line with...
Yes, but I want you to clarify, what exactly then do you feel? Do you feel it's a foregone conclusion? Anything that comes against the bill will be thrown out? Is that what you're saying?
No. Oh, not at all. I am not part of the legal system, and I will be very stupid to make such a statement. No, not at all. I only mean that from the beginning, once the issue was taken to court, lawyers have spoken about it and said that no, you wouldn't see the light of day. And so for some of us, it was not surprising that the learned judges ruled against this. Yes. I don't mean to say that anything that goes, they will rule against it. No, not at all.
All right. Now, in politics, we'll just do a few stories on pages 17 and 18. I'll just give basically the headlines. They summarize. Help retain NPP in power. Jogate urges residents of the Volta region. He is a presidential hopeful for the governing New Patriotic Party. On that same page, there is NDC executive. So MPP, Jogate says, retain the MPP in power. Then on the same page, NDC executive in Eastern region urged to unite for 2024 victory. So as far as the NDC is concerned in the Eastern region, let's get united so we win. And the MPP, Jogate, also saying, look, let's do this. Let's come together and let's retain the MPP in power. On page 18, Court of Appeal dismisses Kweson's move to halt trial, and that trial is going to go full steam ahead. Quick reflections, very quick ones on this, and then we go to other papers.
Yeah, sure. So, like I said earlier in one of my I said that for this MPP presidential election, it's more like a beauty contest where they are not really bringing out any concrete message for which reason they have to be retained to break their aid. It's all about showcasing themselves, how old or how young they are, or how many vehicles they have donated to their party in the past, and whether it is time for this person to be president or it's time for another to be president. You heard one of them saying that
you're throwing subtle shades. You're throwing subtle shades at people.
The presidential candidate say he wants to be the flag bearer of NPP. Oh, not necessarily. I'm only saying that the things we hear them speak about are not new things that will shake anybody. Vice President Kamia says that he's his own person, he has his own vision, and there are questions being thrown at him. Oh, so for all these 8 years that you've been there, you've never helped your president to implement whatever vision you think used to support him to succeed. And you have succeeded in pushing us to these doldrums. And now you are coming out to say that you have your own vision. Akoto also says that he wants to be the flag bearer. And Jogate is saying that they should just help us break the eight. And so it's all about breaking eight and for nothing more. The question we keep asking that what are they going to break the eight for? To push us further down the drain, to send us more to IMF, to make sure that the dams that they construct, that are gullies, they don't hold water, to do what? The one district, one party they promise, so that they promise more, or the number of secondary schools they say they are going to build that they have not been able to do. Or what exactly do they want to break the eight to do? Those are the questions some of us ask. And so for me, it's neither here nor there. It's just a beauty contest. They are just showing they're showcasing themselves. And whoever comes on Dramani Mahama is very solid on the ground. That is why the call in the Eastern region for us to get united is very key. Same message should go to everybody everywhere.
But some have suggested. I mean, the EIU, Fitch, have all come to say that with everything that is happening, I mean, the likelihood of the NDC returning to power is high. But yesterday I saw an interesting post by my own former colleague, if you like, Manasseh Azuri Awene, and basically it's your election to lose. And sometimes some people sitting in certain circles, the political circles, say your party is not living up to expectation. You're not doing enough in opposition to clinch power. I think per Manasseh's post, he suggested that if the MPP selected a certain candidate, then it would be really dicey for the NDC, meaning that the NDC would have to go full throttle to win that election. Are you of the stock that no matter whom the MPP selects, that person can and will be beaten by the NDC's candidate, John Mahama? Is that your opinion?
Yeah, Ben, who are they bringing? Baumia, who is identified as encyclopedia as being the biggest liar in the world?
When you say encyclopedia, I don't know which encyclopedia. I know there have been some generations on social media.
Wikipedia. Yes. So what is new about Baumia that anybody will be scared about? And for me, you see the reality of the situation.
And even that, to just be fair,
you are going through now.
You cannot tag him as the biggest liar in the world. I mean, there's no scientific evidence. But these rely on social media posts, tweets, and stuff like that. So let's just we may all have our concerns with him on that score, but
that's his record, isn't it? Akako, are you classified by social media as the biggest liar? Have you been classified? Have you? No, so he has been classified, and so that's the view of people over him. Is it not a referendum of people over who he is? Is it not? If I say so, you also say so, another person says so. Does it not mean that is the perception we have about him? And perceptions become realities, because what we see is what we speak about. And so for me, is there Alan Chemanti, Gumisu? What new are they bringing? He's been at the helm of affairs at the trade ministry for all this work. What has been his contribution to the growth of the economy? And so for me, there's nothing new. But that does not mean that we in the NDC are going to sleep hoping that Ghanaians are going through a torture stand, and so for that reason, they are automatically going to vote for us. We are doing our groundwork on the ground. I'm not sure Manasseh Asuri is part of the NDC, and he knows about strategies and plans going into the 2024 election. They will tell you in the local balance agronomy form, we are doing our best on the ground. And that's why I'm coming to the point that what we need now is unity, no distraction. Parliamentary candidates have been selected all over. Our presidential candidate has been selected. Win or lose, you understand that one thing we are all trying for is the party NDC. So whether your favorite candidate has won or lost, it's all over. Let's concentrate on what it is on the ground now and make sure that we put our house in order. Go and meet these people frontally, whoever they bring. We are not scared of any of them.
Okay. I think that point is made clear. But like I was pointing out to you earlier, just so we don't misinform or disinform, you will notice that some of the trends on Twitter, for example, they go with algorithms. So if a certain tweet, whether organic or otherwise, is put up and a hashtag is generated, that is how sometimes inorganic tweets begin to trend. So if enough people put on social media that X person is a liar, the algorithms on social media will pick them and put them up. It doesn't necessarily mean that is the reality. I just wanted you to know that about the tech space.
Ben,
But let's quickly get into the Daily Guide newspaper.
Ben, what is your confusion? What is your problem? We have put
No, I'm just trying to be fair so that we don't misinform anybody. I mean, if someone were to select any individual in this country and that individual were of some prominence and people, let's say 1,000 people were tweeting or posting something with a specific hashtag, -1 or +1, that person would trend. And if later that day or in a week to come, you went and checked for that specific bit, that person's name will pop up. It doesn't necessarily mean it is true.
I don't know whether you want to take the status from His Excellency the Vice President. Do you want to take over?
No,
if not, what's your problem?
Definitely not. I am not. I am just trying to be fair to him, Maxwell, because he is not here to represent himself.
Not for he himself is worried about the tax, because he knows that there are several things he's told us that I think that never lead to expectation on. And
right.
So for me,
I
don't think he's for it.
Let's make tracks. The Daily Guide newspaper, NDC plays hide and seek with Parliament. We all know what is happening there. Absence from Parliament. There's also appeals. Okay, so I get. Whenever we say appeals court, it is the Court of Appeal or the Appellate Court. Appeals Court doesn't even exist. Anyway, Court of Appeal bounces Jachi Kwesen. There's I am not dead, J.A. Kufuor says, and Baumia shoots down Islamic funding propaganda. There's also anti-LGBTQ injunction dismissed. We've looked at some of these stories. The I am not dead story, you know, the rumor mill, there's been another, you know, trend where people are suggesting the former president, the gentle giant, was dead, but he is not. And they're coming out to say that forcefully. But also on page 3, the vice president, you know, in recent times, there were some suggestions that he was affiliated to funding from some sort of terrorist group. Well, he has denied claims of being funded by any Islamic group. It follows a vile post, so to speak, by one David Humdayin, a journalist in Nigeria, that the vice president's campaign to be elected as the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party in the 2024 general elections is being funded by some Islamic groups in Nigeria called the ACF. Well, that is his response, but I believe we'll see what happens as time goes by. Strongman and Medical fight on Twitter, and rapper Medical has started a new fight with fellow rapper Strongman Burner after he decided to troll him on Twitter. On Tuesday, Medical tweeted old images of Strongman working out at the gym to make fun of him. The rapper, born Vincent Osekweku, was captured lifting a dumbbell. Medical, in sharing the photo, described Strongman as a, quote, work of art in what looked like he was body shaming him. And there's never a shortage of matters to discuss in this country. On the back page, Aubameyang quits Chelsea for Marseille, and Infantino wants only positive vibes as Women World Cup kicks off today. Quick thoughts, then we'll do the business finder and wrap.
I'm sure the bid on J.A. Kufuor's death is something I am not too pleased about. Ghanaians are quick to break negative news, even if we don't know the truth about them. Why should the death of somebody, especially the former president of the country, be of so much concern, and we are in haste to want to break whether he's dead or not? I really don't know what's happening. But whatever it is, I wish his family well. But I don't think that these are things we should easily be sharing. You hear the death of somebody, you may want to do some cross-check here and there before you put it across. I am really not enthused about some of these things.
Right.
We all came this world and will die and live. Why are we in haste to break somebody's death? I really don't understand why.
All right, and let's get into these stories, and then it's go. The Daily Statesman, stop the personal attacks. NPP chairman cautions aspiring flag bearers. There's also Boakye Jacko, MPP defeat will be bad news for Ghana. I don't know whether you agree with him, but the business finder is where I'm going to conclude. Economy to recover by 2025. Growth will slow down 2023 and 2024, says World Bank report. Let me just get into that story, and then we can cap it off. So the latest World Bank report on Ghana says the Ghanaian economy will recover to its potential growth by the year 2025, but after growth has slowed down to 1.5% in 2023, remaining depressed in 2024 at 2.8%. The report titled, quote, Price Surge, Unraveling Inflation's Toll on Poverty and Food Security, said Ghana faced an extremely challenging outlook and the economic situation was likely to remain challenging before it rebounded. This is nothing new. This has been the rhetoric of the World Bank, by the way. Final thoughts, and we're gone.
It's nothing new, but we are feeling the pinch on the ground. And for me, the situations we are in now and what we see around, there's nothing new happening in the front of the managers of the economy. They are just dancing around the situation and really don't know what we are doing. The inflationary rate keeps increasing every now and then. Rates keep depreciating every now and then. It's nothing new. We are aware. We only have to brace ourselves for another crucial year of 2024 and hope that John Dramani Mahama is voted for to come to save this economy, saying that they have to vote for the MPP or for them losing will be a bad news. That would be the greatest news anybody would want to receive in Ghana. If you see the atmosphere around now, you will know what it is. And for me, you can testify to whatever we are all talking about. It is nothing new. So people just speak English and they hope that things, whatever they intend to do with this, I don't know. But for us as a people, and based on these reports, we know that things are not too good, and we may have to change those at the hem of our face. Somebody suggested earlier that President Akufo-Addo should calculate the number of months left for him. We pay him salary, and then he resigns, and so we see the way forward. Things are not too good.
Okay, Maxwell. We'll have to cap it off here.
Then we have reports that he's been sponsored from ACF in Nigeria. Maybe that is why he has so much. You remember the last time he had.
But he's come out to refute those claims. Anyway, he's come out to refute those claims. But Maxwell, this is where we're going to have to cap it off. Our time is already passed. I don't think you believe that he will come to accept that, yes, a terrorist group in Nigeria is funding my country. Will he do that? Well,
if you were in his shoes, will you do that?
Maxwell Lukuto is NDC parliamentary candidate for South Tone. He joined us this morning for the conversation. Maxwell, my apologies, but our time is up. He is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for South Tone. He joined the conversation. Max, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Lovely day with dry pockets.
What a way to end it. Anyway, so right before we go, though, this is a special wish, belated happy birthday to my own friend Esther Adu of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Wonderful personality, very affable, and I'm so sorry I missed your birthday, but I'm making up for it today. Belated birthday wishes to you, and keep growing in everything that is good. May God's favor locate you in everything you endeavor. Right before we get into sports, this segment always brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They're offering free prostate screening if you're a man, free fertility screening if you're a woman. So make tracks to any of their branches. Locate them here in Accra at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi Kronumabwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex, Takrade Anaji State Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanswa and Esiamanzima. You can reach them via the phone on 0244 867-068 or 0274-234-321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Ghana for Sports is up next.